Hey everybody, welcome back. Prophet here. Today we are going to be doing part 6 of the This Is How You Don't Beg for a New PC. Now, back on Sunday Night Bites, Phil had made a comment in regards to capture cards and how capture cards work. Now, I don't get to catch a lot of the night streams except for fight nights, as when I work, I got to get up really early in the morning. Now, there's a reason why we're playing the Scottish National Anthem, and King Jad contacted me and told me about this fucking bullshit that Phil had spewed forth about how capture cards work. So, it triggered me, right? Like, whenever Phil talks about anything hardware related, I get triggered, because he has fucking no idea what he's talking about. So, I thought to myself, you know what? I should just buy my own capture card. So I went out and picked up the EVGA XR1 Pro. Now, I also didn't skimp. I picked up a USB hub, 7-port USB hub for my notebook, because I'm recording this on my notebook and capturing my desktop to the notebook. But I picked up also a higher quality HDMI 2.1 cable, the ones I had recommended from Club 3D, as well, just to make sure that everything is properly supported within the system. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to listen to what Phil had to say the other night, and then we're going to look at performance metrics when it comes to actually doing video capture, something Phil obviously knows fuck all about. So just pause this anthem here. So that's a big shout out to King Jad. Hope you enjoy your national anthem. We'll continue on. So let's take a listen here to what Phil had to say the other night.
$4.20 tipper says your PC can handle Hugo Boss fight massive FPS firefights, but driving a boat is too much. Yeah, because it's all about the amount of detail on the screen. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm playing a game and it's first person, and it's just a bunch of, you're in a room with a bunch of soldiers and you're turning and shooting them all and there's explosions and things. Okay, that's one room rendered, a bunch of guys inside of it. Yes, there's explosions and detail, but it's that one room. I'm playing a game, it's open, so it has to render not only all the detail of this water and all the reflectiveness of this water, but then it has to render the trees, has to render all that and capture it. All that is additional data that needs to be captured. It's not just one room with a bunch of dudes firing. It's all this detail at once on the screen. That's what kills bandwidth. So that's why. That's maxing my CPU, because there's so much shit going on at the screen here with detail. If it were not detailed at all, it would be like 0% CPU. But it's all, look at the detail in the water. It's actually a mirror. That's what's killing the CPU right now. There's no fish.
Okay. So basically what Phil said there was fucking retarded. That is not how video capture works, okay? So Phil is saying that his video capture device renders what's being shown on his console. No. Your console does everything. It does the pre-processing, the post-processing, the rendering, ray tracing, everything like that. That's all compiled on the console. All the capture card does is transmit that output image to the device that you're streaming from or recording to. That is all it does. And some offer pass-through, right? Which means that you can capture and then you can also have a pass-through for a separate screen, which the XR1 Pro supports. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. Phil thinks it's re-rendering again. No, that is not how that fucking works, Phil. You are so fucking stupid when it comes to anything hardware or IT or anything even remotely life related. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And no, it shouldn't max your CPU. And I'm going to prove that with our next scene. So here's my capture card. You can see my fat gouty ass with my webcam. This is kind of like what Phil's shitty setup is, right? Now my webcam ain't great. It's just on my notebook. So it's not really It's not a high-end notebook. I could plug in my phone, but I didn't want to because I just want to do this to prove a point. Now, as you can see, we haven't started a game yet. So I've got NVIDIA hardware encoding enabled. I'm recording at 1080p, 60 FPS. The screen in the back is captured using the EVGA XR1 Pro. Right? And that's capturing at 1080p, 60 FPS. Now, as you can see, CPU usage is at 11%, and GPU usage is at 10%. Now, according to Phil, if I open up a game that has an open world, so say let's play, I'm going to play World of Warcraft here, right? Because that's an open world MMO. So according to Phil, this should max my CPU. Now, in the background, I also have running on this notebook, because I'm recording this. Again, you can see I'm using an 8750H, which is a 6-core, 12-threaded processor. It's got 32 gigs of RAM in it, 970 EVO Plus, 1 terabyte, and it's using a 1070 NVIDIA GTX graphics card, but it's a desktop graphics card. It's none of that Max-Q shit that you can get that it's just junk. NVIDIA was actually able to fit a desktop card into its mobility line. So it's a genuine desktop 1070. Okay? Now, it's not high end, right? Like, it's not super duper high end. But it's able to do, like, and remember, Phil said that if you did this, it would overheat and the system would just crash, right? You can't stream on a notebook, according to Phil. That's according to Phil. Now, we all know that's full of crap because I'm doing that right now. So, let's start up a game and watch. Let's see if Phil is correct. This should max out my CPU, right? Now, I'm not going to do any software encoding tests because we all know software encoding. It will cause your CPU to skyrocket in performance, not to the point that Phil says it is. And I'm going to explain why Phil's full of shit and why his system might be maxed out if it's true. And I'll explain it and I'll prove why. So here we are, World of Warcraft. We're in Zeth Mortis. Everybody in the fucking planet's on here because this is the latest fucking shit that's going on. Now, the screen that I am recording, this is 3440 by 1440p with G-Sync enabled on my screen. And I'm able to pass through VRR. And now I'm getting attacked by a fucking eagle. Great. Now, EVGA released a firmware update that allows for VRR recording and pass-through. So the EVGA XR1 will do 4K 30 FPS, HDR10 Plus with VRR support. It's one of the few, if not the only, capture device that will actually capture VRR. So like VRR FreeSync 2 G-Sync. It'll actually do it with the latest firmware update. And that's the first thing I did when I plugged it in. It took me 2 seconds to configure it. It's an awesome capture device. There's no software needed. There is software to control RGB. There is software to control HDCP handshake. So if you're having issues where your HDMI is dropping out, like your screen goes black, that way you can download the software and then you can adjust your HDCP settings so that you can get a more stable signal. That's awesome. I haven't seen that on any other capture card but EVGA's. So it works great. It's small. It's got a mirror finish on it, so like it picks up fingerprints and dust pretty easily, and we all know Phil's got a dusty fucking room. But this thing retails for $259.99 Canadian. It's on sale right now for half price. And Memory Express also gave me another 5% discount, so I only paid $114 for this thing, which is great. $114, 4K 30 FPS capture with VRR support. I could do 1080p 240 hertz as well if I wanted to, if I had a 240 hertz screen, which I don't. So as you can see, there's people running around and everything. And if you look at the CPU and the GPU, they haven't changed. So Phil, max quality in-game ray tracing enabled, anti-aliasing enabled, but the CPU and the GPU didn't change. And the only reason my GPU is at 12% is because I'm using hardware NVENC. Otherwise, it would probably be around 7%, maybe less, 5%, right? So when you look at Phil's claims that like his system pixelates, right, because of what's going on the screen, no, that's his internet taking the shit, okay? Remember, Phil's using 300 megabits down, 10 megabits up. So he's got, remember, if he's streaming out at 1080p 60, he's probably using 8 to 10 megabits. He's already maxed his upload rate on his shitty fucking interwebs. He will, when he's playing a game online, or if there's a game that requires online play even during single player, he still has to upload, but he's already maxed his upload. So what's it going to do? It's going to lower the quality of his stream to enable the upload of the console, right? It's not Phil's PC that's the issue, okay? Now, again, Phil had stated that he had done what's called, what is it? He's got the AverMedia. He's got a USB device. I'm using a USB device. Works fucking phenomenal, right? 2 seconds to set up. Within the AverMedia software, and this is probably why Phil is spiking to like 90% or 100% CPU usage, and why he can't get NVIDIA hardware NVENC working, is because he has the AverMedia software installed. Now, within the AverMedia software, there is a section. And if you have it set incorrectly, and let me see if I could bring it up here because, see, yeah, I can. Look at that. Wicked capture, right? Okay, we want to go to AverMedia. And we are going to be looking for their streaming software. What is it called? I can't remember. Let's just go by the website really quick and take a look. Go by support. Assist Central, I don't want. I want their video capture. No, we'll go game capture. Right there. Great. Just do that. And we are looking for applications. ReCentral. Now, within the ReCentral software, there's an option that Phil probably didn't set properly. Let me see if I could bring it up here. Oh, good. It's just the capture mode. No, that's not what I want. Okay. So within the ReCentral software, there is an option to choose for what you're going to be using for your encoding. Now, unfortunately, Phil probably has that set to software. And being set to software, the AverMedia suite will take 100% control. Okay? That means that when he opens OBS, he will not have an option for hardware encoding. It'll take what the AverMedia software has running. Now, I prefer, that's why I like the EVGA. There's no software included. It is controlled primarily by OBS. So when I set up my capture, it gives me the options like, what do you want to use for resolution? What do you want to use for FPS? What do you want to use for your color gradient? And this supports chroma subsampling 422, which is excellent. That means it will do HDR. So Phil's pretty much fucked up when he set up his system, or whoever set the system up for him. Right? You can see the record quality and everything like that. Phil needs to make sure that that is set to hardware encoding within the AverMedia software. If he doesn't, it'll override everything. That's why he's stuck in software mode. That's why he's fucked up. If he were to uninstall the AverMedia software and then just use his capture card and control the settings with OBS, he will be able to use hardware encoding and everything will work just fine. So, pretty easy, huh, guys? got a nice high-end capture card. I'm going to keep it. I'm probably going to set up my streams more to be used this way, so I'll be recording on my notebook while I could just use my desktop as is and make things easier. Now, I am considering building, I'm thinking about it. I might build myself like a little mini ITX streaming rig, and I'll keep everybody posted. We got a lot of new subscribers now, and I know I've been asked about this in the past. People want me to post like my builds that I had done for Phil. Unfortunately, I don't have community access yet. I will at 500 subscribers, and then I'm going to start using it for that feature. And that way, if anybody has any questions, I could feature builds on the community page. And then, like, I know Bank Leaks has a new PC build that he's doing right now. I've got a couple pics on it right now. What I'm going to do is, once I do get community access at 500 subscribers, I am going to then feature people's builds on stream, starting with Bank Leaks, and basically just do a stream going over their builds and everything like that, maybe critiquing them if they're built shitty. And that's going to happen here as the subscriber count to the channel has been increasing. And I want to thank everybody for subscribing, because I love this community. I love my fellow detractors. They're awesome guys, awesome gals out there that are doing awesome work reporting on Phil's bullshit. This Friday night, I will be doing Fight Night. Next Saturday, the following Saturday, because Phil is doing Fight Night on Saturday night, I will restream that. But more than likely, I'm going to be high as fuck, because that's my night to relax. So I'll stream. If I pass out on stream, you know why. I just got really fucking high. So if you're looking for an excellent capture card, right now, again, EVGA has it on half price. You could buy from EVGA's website for half price. Still think the sale is going on. Just check. 4K 30 FPS, VRR support for recording and pass-through, HDR 10 plus recording and pass-through. Yeah, like that's all I really care about. I'm not going to use the audio in or the party chat in. Like if you can plug your controller into the side of the capture device, and then you can get your party chat and everything recorded onto your device as well. So it's an awesome capture card. Very easy to set up. I am really glad I purchased it, because now I get to toy around with a lot of the capture settings and everything, and debunk Phil even more. So as you can see, Phil claimed that his PlayStation going to the capture device and then the capture device doing will cause the CPU to skyrocket because the CPU is going to re-render the image some magic way. No, that's full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I just debunked it. Using the capture device, there was no increase in performance whatsoever on the CPU or the GPU. It stayed at what it was when we first started. So Phil, get fucked. And we'll see you guys in the next one.